Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for joining me this Thursday on 7Edition. I'm Shafika Razali and these are tonight's top stories. Tengku Maimun named Malaysia's first female Chief Justice. $1.7 million jewellery bought by Joe Low to be returned to the US government. And suspected Maoist kill at least 16 in India's latest election violence. Good evening. We begin to 7Edition with this story. Federal Court Judge Datuk Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat has been appointed as the new Chief Justice of Malaya. She is the country's first woman to be appointed to the position. Datuk Tengku Maimun replaces Tan Sri Richard Malanjum, aged 66, who retired on April 12. The Prime Minister's office in a statement today said her term as the Chief Justice is effective today. It also said that the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, upon advice from the Prime Minister and after consulting with the Council of Rulers, has consented to her appointment to the role. The PMO added the date of the swearing-in ceremony and receipt of instruments of appointment in front of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong will be informed by the Federal Court's Chief Registrar's Office after receiving the consent of the King. Tengku Maimun served as a Judicial Commissioner at the Kuala Lumpur High Court in 2006 and 2007. She rose through the ranks and took up the mantle as a Federal Court Judge on November 26 last year. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has granted Attorney General Tommy Thomas's request to postpone Datuk Sri Najib Razak's One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB trial for another 3 months. This is until the former Premier's trial on the alleged misappropriation of funds from SRC International Sdn Berhad is settled. Judge Colin Lawrence Sequeira allowed the request by Thomas, who is the lead prosecutor in the SRC trial, after it received no objection from the defence team. In his ruling, Sequeira added that the court expects the SRC trial to close on June 21st if everything goes well, therefore it did not want the progress to be interrupted. Following this, the judge set August 19 to 29, the whole month of September and October except for Fridays, as well as the first 2 weeks in November for Datuk Sri Najib's 1MDB trial. Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i Abdullah, who represented the former Prime Minister, said the defence team has no objection to the new trial dates. Before fixing the new dates, however, Sequeira had warned both prosecution and defence to not postpone the case again, as this was already the second time the 1MDB case trial was adjourned. The court also set June 21st for case management. In a related development, a set of diamond jewellery worth $1.7 million that fugitive businessman Low Take Joe or Joe Low bought using money allegedly stolen from 1MDB will be handed over to the US government. This comes after the custodian of the jewellery items, including a 7.53-carat diamond ring allegedly bought for Joe Low's mother, Evelyn Goh, has agreed for it to be returned to the country. According to a U.S. Department of Justice DOJ filing, the 1MDB-linked jewellery will be transferred by a custodian to the U.S. as part of a forfeiture lawsuit. The department, which announced the agreement in a court filing dated May 1st, however, did not name the custodian in question. The filing also said that the transfer of the defendant's assets should not be construed as an admission of wrongdoing or liability. In a statement through his spokesman, Joe Low said he is pleased to learn that the DOJ and relevant parties are working to amicably resolve the matter, and that his team looks forward to the continuing resolution of these issues. According to a DOJ complaint for forfeiture in 2017, Joe Low bought the jewellery for his mother using funds traceable to proceeds from a 2012 1MDB bond offer. The Putrajaya Magistrates Court has released a former special officer to former Defence Minister Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein, who was remanded for 3 days on graft allegations. Magistrate Shah Wira Abdul Halim granted the 50-year-old Datuk a 30,000 ringgit bail with one surety and ordered the latter to surrender his passport. The man was remanded on April 30th by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MECC, as he is alleged to have helped arrange several projects, including the supply of equipment for military aircraft, believed to be valued at around 1.8 million ringgit. Initial investigations revealed that the man had received kickbacks from a few contractors in exchange for the projects in 2017. Authorities are also tracking down several individuals as well as suppliers involved in the dealings to facilitate the ongoing investigation. The man is being investigated under the MECC Act and faces a maximum penalty of 20-year imprisonment as well as a maximum fine of 10,000 ringgit or 5 times the bribe, whichever is higher if convicted. Moving on, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said innovation and digital technology will be the way forward in tackling the demand for affordable houses in the near future. He stressed the use of digital-based systems in public housing projects will help the government to meet its 1 million affordable houses target within 10 years.
The digital manufacturing for construction will not only help the government build the affordable homes of the future, but will result in faster construction, a substantial reduction in foreign workers' dependency in the construction sector, substantial upskilling and localization of the Malaysian construction workforce, superior quality. I was informed that the affordable homes will be built on the same standard as high-end luxury homes. This is the type of disruptive technology the country needs more of.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said this in his speech when officiating Gamuda Berhad's IBS digital plant in the Bandar Mahkota Banting Industrial Area in Banting, Selangor today. He said the use of Digital Industrialized Building System (IBS) and the Building Information Modelling (BIM) integrated digital design system enables developers to build cheaper homes in a shorter period of time. Gamuda's 27-hectare IBS digital plant in Banting is the latest of such factory in the country, integrating online design tool, BIM platform and equipped with robotic machines for constructions. The Royal Malaysia Police PDRM will meet with the Prime Minister to submit its protest over several issues concerning the proposed Independent Police Complaints and Misconduct Commission IPCMC. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said this included withdrawing the powers of the Police Force Commission SPP under Article 140 of the Federal Constitution, which has drawn protests from many parties in PDRM. Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi said the PDRM had an urgent meeting recently on several matters proposed by the committee, including placing the power for disciplinary action under the IPCMC. He added that this proposal has met with protests from members of the Senior Police Officers Association (PPKP), the Junior Police Officers Association (PPRP), and the Retired Senior Police Officers Association (RESPA). He further said a letter had been sent to the country's leaders on the request by the three associations to meet the Premier on the protest.
Terutama berkaitan dengan usaha untuk menarik kuasa SPP di bawah artikel 140, terutama isu-isu berkaitan dengan tata tertib dan siasatan tata tertib yang telah diambil alih oleh pihak IPCMC ini tadi, telah menerima tentangan yang menyeluruh daripada ahli-ahli di seluruh negara dan juga persatuan pesara polis ini tadi.
Article 140 of the Federal Constitution states that the SPP, which includes the Home Minister, would be responsible for the appointment, promotion, as well as all issues pertaining to the discipline of police officers. Petaling Jaya Member of Parliament Maria Chin Abdullah had previously been reported as saying the government had set a timeline for the setting up of the IPCMC and steps which will be taken to ensure it is truly independent and had the authority to resolve problems in the law enforcement agency. Acting Deputy Inspector General of Police Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid Badu has been appointed as the new Inspector General of Police IGP for a 2-year term, which will take effect on Saturday. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, who confirmed the matter, said the appointment was consented by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong on the advice of the Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, as well as recommendation of the Police Commission. In a statement today, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid's appointment was done in accordance with Article 140 of the Federal Constitution. 68-year-old Datuk Sri Abdul Hamid has held various important posts in the Royal Malaysia Police, including as the Principal Assistant Director of the External Intelligence Division and Director of Bukit Aman Special Branch. He will replace Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun, who will go on a mandatory retirement tomorrow. Tan Sri Muhyiddin, who is the Chairman of the Police Commission, also expressed his appreciation to Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi for all the contributions and service rendered during his tenure as the IGP since September 4th, 2017. Meanwhile, on another matter, the Home Ministry will take firm action against any quarters using rallies or demonstrations to fan racial and religious tension. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said irresponsible quarters causing hatred and dividing the community by abusing racial and religious issues would face the full brunt of the law.
Sebagai sebuah negara yang berbilang kaum dan agama, saya ingin mengambil kesempatan untuk menasihatkan rakyat Malaysia supaya sentiasa memelihara keharmonian kaum dan agama di negara kita. Dan janganlah kita mudah terpengaruh dengan dakwah pihak-pihak yang mengambil kesempatan untuk meraih laba politik dengan sengaja mengapi-apikan sentimen kaum dan agama.
Tan Sri Muhyiddin added there are quarters claiming that the position of Islam in the country is being threatened under the new government to the extent that they want to organise a rally. Although he did not identify the rally, it is understood that the minister was referring to a rally that Gerakan Pembela Ummah is organising on Saturday, purportedly to defend Islam. He also dismissed allegations by Perlis Mufti Datuk Dr. Muhammad Azri Zainul Abidin that the current administration was not proactive in defending Islam. He pointed out to date a total of 53 people have been arrested for insulting Islam and Prophet Muhammad on social media since the PH government took over. Now, requests for proposals RFP for a new immigration system to replace the outdated Malaysian immigration system, MyIMMS, will be called out soon. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said tender documents are expected to be ready this week, followed by calls for bids soon.
Ya, kita dah hampir siap dokumen untuk panggil tawaran untuk wujud MyIMS, the new immigration system yang terkini. Dah hampir siap. Saya fikir mungkin dalam seminggu ni akan keluar dokumen. Jadi request proposal tu dah akan kita keluarkan tidak berapa lama lagi. Jadi isu yang dibangkitkan.
In December last year, the Home Minister announced that a fully online integrated immigration system will be developed to replace the MyIMMS, which has been in use for more than 20 years. He said the decision to replace the system was made at an earlier cabinet meeting as the Immigration Department needed an integrated system that would be efficient and use up-to-date technology. He also said the cabinet agreed to scrap the 3.5 billion ringgit National Immigration Control System (SKIN) project implementation. The decision was made on grounds that a new system would be more comprehensive, efficient, user-friendly and of more monetary value, as well as saving government funds. When we come back, craving mother-to-be gets a pleasant surprise. Details next. Thanks for staying with us. A 66-year-old woman perished in a fire that destroyed her house at Kampung Baru Buntung in Ipoh, Perak this morning. Firemen battled the blaze for about 10 minutes before finding the charred remains of Lee Su Noi in one of the rooms. District Fire and Rescue Department Chief Muhammad Subri Hussein said the department received a distress call at 6:56 a.m. and immediately deployed a team to the scene.
Dan semasa kita tiba di tempat kejadian ini juga, kita dapati kebakaran hampir 70% musnah. Dan pada masa yang sama kita telah menemui seorang mangsa yang terbakar dan meninggal . Dan dipercayai dia duduk bersama dengan seorang adik dia lagi yang pada masa itu telah keluarlah daripada rumah, hanya tinggal kakak dia seorang saja.
Meanwhile, the victim's niece, who wanted to be known as Sum, said she rushed to the scene upon learning of the incident from one of her relatives staying nearby. She added that her disabled aunt was staying at the house with her 71-year-old sister, who was not home at the time of the incident. The victim, who was blind in one eye following an accident several years ago, had been receiving aid from the Welfare Department for the last 1 month. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Elsewhere, a 67-year-old man who was driving a Perodua Myvi died in a head-on collision with a lorry in Sabak Bernam, Selangor this morning. Sabri Arifin was pinned to his seat before succumbing to his injuries in the 5:50 a.m. crash on Jalan Besar Pancang Berdena and Sungai Besar. The victim, who was travelling to Tanjung Karang from Teluk Intan with his wife, suddenly lost control of the vehicle, which then swerved into the opposite lane and collided with the oncoming lorry. His wife, who suffered severe injuries to her legs, was pulled out of the wrecked car by passers-by before fire and rescue personnel arrived at the scene, while the lorry driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. All of them were brought to the Tengku Ampuan Jemaah Hospital in Sabak Bernam. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Meanwhile, a man died after the motorcycle he was riding crashed into a road divider at the East Coast Expressway 2 near the Pakar Toll Plaza in Dungun, Terengganu last night. In the 11:50 p.m. crash, 24-year-old Muhammad Nansha Nur Nashrik Muhammad Rasnan died at the scene due to severe head injuries. The victim, a private sector employee, was travelling home in Bukit Kecil, Kuala Terengganu from Temerloh Pahang with 5 friends. The crash occurred after he lost control of his motorcycle, which saw him being thrown off the vehicle a few metres away upon impact with the divider. Police said an investigation under the Road Transport Act is underway. The victim's body was sent to the Dungun Hospital's forensic unit for post-mortem. Now, let's hop on to our daily segment Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. When a pregnant lady craves for a certain food, it's best to try to fulfill that wish. Mother-to-be Natasha Rose, who yearned for a Milo drink from the Evergreen Milo van, not only got her wish, but it came right at her doorstep. Well, this only came after a video of a Milo truck pursuit that her husband and in-laws were involved in went viral on social media. Here's what happened. Natasha's husband Azmir and in-laws were well aware that the 23-year-old had a craving for Milo. For anyone who has tried both the Milo van drink and the normal do-it-yourself, some would say that the ones they give out from the vans just taste so much better. So, when Azmir and his parents saw a Milo van on a highway one day, they thought no further and started chasing it. One of Azmir's parents, who was at the wheel, tried hard to stop the van in front of them, and finally they managed to flag it down. Sadly, the truck driver said no drinks were available then. A 1-minute and 43-second video of the incident was uploaded by Azmir on his Twitter account and has since garnered nearly 630,000 views. Luckily for them, the viral nature of the video got Nestle in Malaysia's attention, and they decided to give Natasha a surprise. A few days later, a Milo truck showed up at Natasha's home, surprising her with a special Milo delivery. Azmir and his parents, who knew about the surprise but kept mum, was glad to see the smile on Natasha's face as she gulped down 5 cups. In a short interview with M-Star, Natasha said she was very touched when she saw the video of her parents-in-law chasing after the truck, all for her sake. Some fights can get pretty chaotic. For instance, individuals can start striking one another with objects within arm's reach. But recently, some Singaporeans observed a rather bizarre scuffle involving 2 people armed with a potted plant and a recorder respectively. Insta stories of the strange brawl went viral on Twitter recently, raking in over 230,000 views. Here's the story.
According to Singapore's Straits Times, the comical brawl occurred Monday along Hougang Avenue 9 near T1 Community Club. What seems to be a normal fight had spectators puzzled as they saw one of the men wielding a potted plant, while another was retaliating with a recorder. In the next clip, the man holding the recorder was seen to be holding what's alleged to be alcohol. Despite that the nature of the bottle was not confirmed, Lucas O, who recorded the incident, said the man did appear to be drunk. And what made things more bizarre, that it already was, when police finally arrived at the scene. The man with the recorder, without a care in the world, began off-key playing the instrument, seemingly enchanting the coppers. Shortly after, police arrested the man with the recorder and appeared to have confiscated his instrument. Police spokesman said the parties involved were advised on their legal recourse.
Malaysia ports are facing a significant shortage of prime mover drivers to ferry cargo from the wharf to the shipping yard and vice versa. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siu Fook said the terminal ports of Port Klang and the port of Tanjung Pelepas PTP needed between 800 to 1,000 prime movers to cater to the increased demand in cargo movement.
We are seeing a growth of more than 10% year to year in the first quarter. That's why the ports are telling me that they are facing real challenges. If we do not solve this problem, then we will be at the losing end.
He was speaking to reporters after chairing the National Shipping and Port Council meeting in Putrajaya today. Loke added that he had raised the shortage issue to the Home and Human Resources Ministries, along with an appeal to allow port operators to hire foreign workers to fill the vacancies for at least 3 to 5 years. This is because he said Malaysia is currently in the transition period to fully using autonomous vehicles at the ports. He also advised locals to consider taking up the job as a prime mover driver, as it offers a decent income of about 3,300 ringgit a month. After the break, bombardment kills at least 10 in Syria. We'll be right back. We're back with foreign news. In India, at least 15 police personnel and 1 civilian were killed in a suspected Maoist insurgent attack in the west-central state of Maharashtra on Wednesday. The men were travelling in convoy to provide reinforcement to a police post in the Gadchiroli district when a landmine detonated. Militant attacks in several states, including Maharashtra, Odisha and Chhattisgarh, where the rebel movement still has traction, are common as the country goes to the polls. Last month, the roadside bomb attack on a political convoy killed 5 people in Chhattisgarh, 2 days before the world's biggest election began. Tens of thousands of people have been killed since 1960s in clashes between security forces as well as guerrillas. According to authorities, the rebels often call for a boycott of elections as part of their campaign against the Indian state. Over in Syria, at least 10 people were killed and a dozen others injured after barrel bombs were dropped on Wednesday. Footage shows the defense teams working to evacuate injured people in the southern Idlib town of Khan Shaikun to nearby hospital. According to UN, fighting in northwestern Syria has displaced nearly 140,000 people since February as the regime and its ally Russia have stepped up their bombardment. Earlier, the US Department of State condemned escalating airstrikes in Idlib and northern Hama carried out by the Syrian government and Russia. This came amid reports that Syrian forces had used barrel bombs on both towns on April 30th, the first time since September 2018. Idlib has been protected from a massive regime offensive by a September deal inked by Damascus ally Russia and rebel backer Turkey. Famed boy band BTS made history at the Billboard Music Awards by winning Top Duo Group Award in their first ever nomination and Top Social Artist for the 3rd year in a row, proving their powerful fan base. With the victories, BTS became the first Korean act to win more than one honor at the annual event, beating out Dan and Shay, Imagine Dragons, Maroon 5 and Panic at the Disco. Called onto the stage to receive the honor amid fans' thunderous cheers, leader RM first thanked the band's fan community, ARMY.